What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. So I want to give you a quick update. I knew I said I wasn't going to beat you up with more tire stuff for the Malibu, but it's exciting news because bam! Oh yeah, look at, we've got not one, but two 295 65s chilling up underneath. So I just cut everything out and I got it fit. And again, it was much easier because I already have a template, right? So that one is in, we're good to go. This one, I only had to fit it twice because I knew where to cut. And then I just had to do a little more back here. And then on this one, the lip here, right here, is a little tight. So I think on both sides, we'll just kind of move it in here and then move it in there, you know? But look at this thing. I want to give you guys a look. I know that I'm excited about it, that you guys are awesome and will be excited as well. Look at how good that thing looks. Let's just back up a little bit. Whew. Bam! And on some other news, I did a little LS motor fishing. So I buy and sell LS motors. That's where a lot of the funding for this stuff, like the extra money, right? Because these things are just a waste of money. Although it is my hobby and it is what I enjoy. So mainly it's just 6 liters, aluminum 5.3s, and then every once in a while I get a 6.2, like the one that I stuffed in here. So anyway, went down there and my guy had a couple motors and I was looking around, and then he had the 2 iron blocks, and I owed one to a buddy because a lot of these go to the same dude, and I just dropped them off to him and he opened one that was bad. So he's like, oh, keep an eye out. So I found the perfect filthy candidate. So I dumped that on him because it was good. It's as dirty as I'll get out. So I dumped that on him. And there's another one I was kind of looking at it, but I was like, I don't really want to pull the trigger, spend the money on the thing. And I noticed on the top of the pile, it's like this mountain. Just imagine a pile that's probably 15 feet tall, roughly, depending on which side of the pile you're on, of just engines, right? Just long blocks, short blocks, pieces, parts. It's like, if you didn't know what you were looking at, you'd think it was all complete crap. And right on top he had an aluminum block, and I noticed that all the main caps were in, they're all marked, and I kind of crawl around and see it. So I was asking what's wrong with it, and he said it was, oh, that one's broken, it's broken. And I'm like, man, I'd like to see it. And then he couldn't explain it because his English isn't really that great. He's a Mexican dude. My Spanish is terrible, but we communicate with cervezas. That's how I get him to call me when he has motors. So he pulled it down. He has to use a forklift and pull this thing off this pile. And on the number 8 cylinder, I didn't take a picture of it, but the engine came apart, it looks like, at some point. Something bounced around there, and it broke where the bottom, so if you were looking down in the block, where the bottom of the sleeve comes through the bore, right on the back side. So it didn't break the cylinder. It chipped off a piece of the block right there where the cylinder would press through, right? So my brain, I'm looking at that going, I don't really care that the cylinder's there. Yeah, there's no support right in the bottom, but the bottom, it is what it is. We're not trying to make a ton of power in the old Pacer. So I pulled the trigger on it. I got it for $100. And I figure if it doesn't work out and it does leak, say that cylinder's bad, it doesn't seal or whatever, there's an issue or it's broken behind the sleeve, I'll just use it for a mock-up block. So I told my guy, check it out. If you think the thing's good, get a sleeve, we'll punch it out. And if at any point if you punch it out and the thing broke behind it and it's a piece of junk, just stop there. I'll pay you for your time, and then I'll use it for a mock-up block because it's aluminum, so I can fit it in and out. Like in said car here, when this engine leaves, because the engine's gone, I still need to hang turbos and hot sides and all that stuff. So of course I have other motors laying around, but I'd much rather just throw an aluminum block, this junk in there. I don't have to worry about nothing. It can sit out in the rain, weather, whatever, right? Versus putting a good motor in there and letting it sit out. So showed you guys a picture of that thing. I put it on the screen. I'll put it on the screen, but I'm excited. And I don't know, this is how things escalate, right? What would you guys do if you got a $100 LS2? Would you throw that Pacer with some turbos on it, or would you just go 5.3 or try to go some standard issue deal? And on top of that, I have options with it because I have another engine at the machine shop right now, and essentially I'm going to trick my buddy into giving me all the old guts out of it because we're building his engine. So he's keeping his crank, but he got pistons and rods from Scat. Got a hell of a deal, so go check that out. He got the Molly Power Pack pistons that are going in his engine. So I've got a set of Gen 4 rods, pistons that would slap right in the 6-liter that I got, and we can go that route. Or I may talk to Scat and use like their budget line of stuff that I think you guys might be more apt to do. So let me know on that too. Everybody does the SBE stuff, and I get that. And I feel like depending on where you're at budget wise, I know a lot of guys like to see the SBE stuff, and I know I can make 500 on that all day. Or we could prove out a budget line of the Scat stuff, and I can run it, put it in there, and you guys will know what it is and how it works, and maybe we can go that route. I don't know. We'll have to see if they make a rod for a stock piston, or maybe we just shake Molly down for a set of pistons too. Let me know what you guys think. You want to do like a cheap piston and rod motor? Should I just take the guts out of the other one, slap it in there, and call it a day, and have a super cheap 6-liter? So I'll let you guys kind of make the call on that, because either way, I don't care all that much. And my other buddy that I got the motor to, he has a crank for me, so I'm pretty excited about that. He's supposed to call me. I think I have to turn it down. It was in the motor, it lost oil pressure, but he said it should be fine. You know, I might have to turn it, straighten it or whatever. So and that is a 4-inch crank, which would be awesome, because I'm still waiting on the one from Scat, and I know that they're backed up and they're having, you know, troubles like everybody else supply wise. But if I got a hold of that one, then it'd be cool, because then I'd have 2, you know, just in case something happens. You build a backup motor. It's always good to have extra pieces and parts, especially when it's a crank like that, you know, if something happened and there's some race or something coming up, you don't just go buy one of those. Like, I can get stock cranks all day, I can't get the 4-inch versions. So we might have another one of those too, which would be awesome. So lots of cool stuff working out, lots of fun parts. I wanted to share this with you. Having both of them on there is awesome. I won't beat you up too bad. I just got to make the piece, weld it in, weld both of these up, and then the crossbar brace, we'll make sure we weld that in good. But we are money. And then after that, I found out from looking at eBay stuff, this is 15 gallons. I thought it was like a 10, but I believe it's 15. I'll triple check, which is good, because I don't have to screw with it. We'll just clean it out and we'll still run this. I wanted a bigger fuel cell, thinking that this was like a 10, but it's 15. That's big enough. And we'll take that. We're going to cut this out and probably scoot over a little bit and sink it in. And then adjacent to it, I haven't figured out what side I want to do where. We'll do a fuel cell and then a water box, right? Actually, probably the other way around. It just depends. So maybe the water box this side, because I think my turbo will live on this side, and then my doodad will live over there. So yeah, and the cool thing, so with the water box, we're gonna go full custom with that. I got a buddy that's much better at fabrication than me. He has big tools, cool stuff, and then he was like, yeah, we'll double insulate that thing and make it bitchin' and put a flap on it, so you can, I think we're gonna use a whole ice block, because everybody uses ice cubes. So I know blocks are cheaper, and I know an ice block will last a lot longer than just dumping cubed ice in there. So I think that's gonna be the plan. We're gonna make the basket, insulate the thing, and then go gung-ho on that. So that'll be the next fun thing that we do. We'll cut the trunk floor out for the most part, sink in the fuel cell, make the water box, and then we've got tin work and all that fun stuff to do and put it all back together. But the back end of the thing, hopefully we'll get this wrapped up, and then we'll spin it around and start all over with hot side, cold side, and then mounting the intercooler and the new big boy Mamma Jamma turbo. You guys know what to do. Thanks for listening to me ramble. I hope you guys are as stoked as I am on this thing. One more look at it before we go. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. Till next time, I'm out.